Hello and welcome to another Black Wars journey through history. The Harlem Renaissance. This period in American history was transformative. It was a cultural, social, and artistic explosion. This era redefined African American identity. From the 1920s to the mid-1930s, Harlem, New York was alive with creativity. Literature, music, fashion, and politics flourished. Harlem was the epicenter of a new cultural awakening. The Harlem Renaissance was a time of great change. African Americans were moving from the rural South to the urban North. They were looking for better opportunities. They wanted to escape racial segregation. This movement was called the Great Migration. It brought millions of African Americans to places like Harlem. This cultural movement was more than just a moment in time. It was a revolution. The Harlem Renaissance redefined what it meant to be Black in America. It gave a voice to a community that had been silenced for far too long. The 1989 iconic movie Harlem Nights, starring Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, and Red Fox, shone a spotlight on this legendary time. The film's portrayal of the vibrancy, struggle, and resilience of Harlem rekindled interest in this critical chapter of Black history. The Great Migration saw many African Americans embark on a journey that would change the course of American history. Millions left the South, leaving behind the Jim Crow era. They sought refuge in the North, hoping for a better life. This mass exodus had a profound impact on the cultural landscape of the United States. The South was riddled with racial prejudice and discrimination. African Americans faced limited opportunities and constant threats to their safety. The North offered a glimmer of hope, a chance for a fresh start. Cities like New York, Chicago, and Detroit became destinations for those seeking a brighter future. The journey north was not without its challenges. Many faced discrimination and hardship, even in their new homes. However, the Great Migration also brought about a sense of community and shared experience. It laid the groundwork for the cultural revolution that was about to unfold. Harlem, a neighborhood in New York City, became the center of this cultural rebirth. The influx of African Americans brought with them a rich tapestry of traditions, experiences, and aspirations. Harlem became a melting pot of creativity and innovation. The streets of Harlem pulsated with life. Jazz music spilled out of clubs, filling the air with rhythm and soul. Writers, poets, and artists found inspiration in the energy of their surroundings. Harlem was more than just a neighborhood. It was a state of mind. The Harlem Renaissance was a testament to the resilience and creativity of the African American community. It was a time of artistic expression, social commentary, and political awakening. Harlem became a beacon of hope and a symbol of Black pride. The Harlem Renaissance didn't emerge from a vacuum. It was the culmination of countless factors, a perfect storm of social, economic, and cultural shifts that converged in the heart of New York City. The seeds of this cultural awakening were planted in the struggles and aspirations of African Americans across the nation. The early 20th century was a time of immense change. The Industrial Revolution was in full swing, and cities were rapidly expanding. For African Americans in the South, trapped in the suffocating grip of Jim Crow laws, these urban centers glimmered with the promise of opportunity. Word spread through communities, carried on the whispers of the wind, of a better life up north. Stories of factory jobs, better wages, and a chance to live with dignity fueled the dreams of countless individuals yearning for a brighter future. The Harlem Renaissance was about to be ignited by the flames of this collective hope. Social conditions and the search for equality. While economic factors played a significant role in the Great Migration, the quest for social equality was equally significant. The South was dominated by Jim Crow laws, which relegated African Americans to second-class citizenship. Segregation was deeply embedded in society, a constant reminder of their marginalized status. The North represented a beacon of hope for a more just and equitable society. Although racism persisted, it was not as overt or institutionalized as in the South. The possibility of living in a place where they could exercise their basic rights without fear of reprisal was a powerful motivator. The aspiration for quality education for their children also played a significant role in the decision to migrate. In the South, educational opportunities for African Americans were severely restricted. The North offered a chance for their children to receive a better education and break free from the cycle of poverty. Harlem's transformation was marked by the making of a cultural mecca. As waves of migrants arrived in New York City, many gravitated towards Harlem. This neighborhood, once a predominantly white enclave, underwent a dramatic transformation, evolving into a vibrant hub of African American culture and creativity. The influx of new residents brought with them a rich tapestry of traditions, experiences, and artistic expressions. Musicians, writers, poets, and artists flocked to Harlem, drawn to its energy and the sense of community that blossomed there. The streets came alive with the sounds of jazz, blues, and gospel music, reflecting the dynamism and soul of its inhabitants. Harlem became a melting pot of ideas and aspirations. It was a place where African Americans could celebrate their heritage, explore their identities, and give voice to their experiences in a way that had never been seen before. The seeds of the Harlem Renaissance were sown in this fertile ground of creativity and cultural exchange. Fashion in the Harlem Renaissance was a vibrant expression of identity and aspiration. It became a powerful tool of self-expression, reflecting the changing social and cultural landscape. As African Americans embraced their newfound freedom and sought to redefine their identities, their clothing became a canvas upon which they painted their aspirations and challenged societal norms. Gone were the drab utilitarian garments associated with rural life and servitude. In their place emerged a vibrant and sophisticated style that exuded confidence and pride. Women adorned themselves in flowing dresses, beaded gowns, and stylish hats, embracing a sense of elegance and glamour that had long been denied to them. Men, too, embraced a new, sartorial sensibility. Tailored suits, sharp fedoras, and carefully chosen accessories became symbols of respectability and success. The way they carried themselves, with a newfound swagger and confidence, spoke volumes about their aspirations for a better future. The zoot suit phenomenon was a bold statement of identity. The zoot suit embodied the spirit of the Harlem Renaissance. This flamboyant style became a symbol of rebellion and cultural defiance. It was more than fashion. It was a political act. Young black men used these suits to assert their presence. The zoot suit became a lightning rod for racial tensions during World War II. Jazz, blues, and the soul of Harlem. Music was the heartbeat of the Harlem Renaissance, filling its streets with an irresistible rhythm. Jazz embodied the vibrancy and creative energy of Harlem in the 1920s and 30s. Legends like Duke Ellington and Louis Armstrong broke through racial barriers. Jazz clubs such as the Savoy Ballroom throbbed with the sounds of trumpets and saxophones. Blues music born from hardship found a resonant voice during the Harlem Renaissance. One of the most famous and controversial venues of the Harlem Renaissance was the Cotton Club. This opulent nightclub, located in the heart of Harlem, showcased the talents of some of the era's greatest black entertainers, including Duke Ellington, Lena Horne, and Cab Calloway. However, the Cotton Club presented a stark paradox. While it provided a platform for black artists to gain recognition and acclaim, it did so within a system of segregation. The club's clientele was exclusively white, with black patrons barred from entering. This blatant discrimination cast a long shadow over the club's legacy, highlighting the complexities and contradictions of race relations during the Harlem Renaissance. Despite its discriminatory policies, the Cotton Club played a significant role in popularizing African American music and culture. The club's lavish shows, broadcast on radio across the nation, exposed a wider audience to the talents of black artists, helping to break down racial barriers and challenge preconceived notions. Harlem's night spots were lively and diverse, pulsing with an energy that was palpable. The streets came alive after dark, with music spilling out from countless clubs. Beyond the grandeur of the Cotton Club, with its segregated audience, existed a tapestry of other venues. These clubs and speakeasies were sanctuaries where people could gather and share stories. There were intimate jazz clubs where the music washed over you like a warm embrace, and boisterous juke joints where the blues flowed freely. One such venue that united the people of Harlem was the Savoy Ballroom. Situated on Lenox Avenue, this grand ballroom was famous for its expansive dance floor and legendary big bands. The Savoy was a place where individuals from all walks of life could come together and dance the night away. It was a melting pot of cultures and styles where the latest dance crazes were showcased. The air buzzed with the energy of hundreds of bodies moving in unison, united by the power of music and the joy of movement. The Apollo Theater. A star is born in the Harlem Renaissance. No other venue in Harlem has a history as rich as the Apollo Theater. Located on 125th Street, it became a proving ground for black entertainers. The Apollo was where dreams were made and legends born. Its stage has seen Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, James Brown, and Michael Jackson. Its legendary amateur night provided a platform for aspiring performers. The Apollo's audience was tough but loyal. Performers faced applause or boos, earning validation from the crowd. Lady Day Billie Holiday's rise to fame was among the many stars who first rose to prominence on the Apollo stage. One name shines particularly bright: Billie Holiday. Born Eleanor Fagan in Philadelphia, Holiday found her voice and her calling in the jazz clubs of Harlem, captivating audiences with her raw emotionality and her hauntingly beautiful vocals. Holiday's journey to stardom was far from glamorous. She began singing in speakeasies and clubs as a teenager, honing her craft in the smoky backrooms of Harlem's nightlife. Her voice, infused with both pain and resilience, reflected the struggles and triumphs of her own life, as well as those of her community. It was at a club called Monette's Supper Club, where Holiday was discovered by producer John Hammond, who was immediately captivated by her unique voice and stage presence. Hammond signed her to a recording contract, and Holiday's career took off, propelling her to fame and cementing her legacy as one of the greatest jazz vocalists of all time. Family ties in Harlem were strong. A tapestry of kinship. During the Harlem Renaissance, the black family was a pillar of strength and resilience. Family ties, stretched thin by the Great Migration, were rewoven in Harlem. Families created a sense of home within the bustling city. Grandparents shared their wisdom and traditions with younger generations. The bonds of family remained unbreakable, a testament to the enduring spirit of the black family. Beyond blood, the strength of community bonds in Harlem were strong and alive. Gatherings of joy and resilience, celebrations of life in Harlem, a vibrant light of a people's unity and love. The enduring spirit of Harlem, a legacy forged in unity. The Harlem Renaissance was a multifaceted movement, a kaleidoscope of artistic expression that extended far beyond the smoky jazz clubs and literary salons. The path to vaudeville stardom for black performers in Harlem was often fraught with challenges. The vaudeville stage in Harlem was graced by a constellation of black stars who would go on to become icons of the Harlem Renaissance. Breaking barriers, building legacies, the impact of vaudeville on Harlem. Behind the glamour, the paradox of the Cotton Club in Harlem. A showcase for black excellence, the stars align at the Cotton Club. The Cotton Club, with its nightly performances broadcast live on radio, became a conduit through which the sounds of Harlem, the rhythms of jazz, flowed into homes across America. The Cotton Club's legacy remains a subject of debate and scrutiny, a reminder of the complexities and contradictions of race relations during the Harlem Renaissance, particularly in Harlem. The allure of Harlem during the Renaissance extended far beyond the bright lights of its theaters and the intoxicating rhythms of its jazz clubs. Harlem was a magnet for influential sports stars, actors, and political figures. Boxer Joe Louis, celebrated as one of the greatest heavyweight champions in boxing history, often visited the iconic Cotton Club in Harlem, New York. Louis' presence there underscored the club's status as a premier venue for black entertainers and patrons. His visits highlighted the intersection of sports, music, and nightlife in Harlem. Activist Paul Robeson, a distinguished actor, singer, and civil rights advocate, had deep connections to Harlem, New York. As a prominent figure during the Harlem Renaissance, Robeson utilized his immense talent and influence to champion social justice and equality. He performed at various Harlem venues, including the Apollo Theater, and was actively involved in the cultural and intellectual circles that defined the neighborhood. W.E.B. Du Bois, a prominent sociologist, historian, and civil rights activist, significantly impacted Harlem, New York by fostering intellectual and cultural growth during the Harlem Renaissance. Du Bois' work in Harlem included organizing events, publishing influential works, and promoting the talents of black artists and writers, helping to establish Harlem as a thriving center of African American culture and activism. Sunset over Harlem, the beginning of the end, the Great Depression and the fade of an era. The Harlem Renaissance, like a vibrant summer day, gradually gave way to the chill of autumn. The Great Depression cast a long shadow over Harlem's creative oasis. The once bustling streets grew quieter as economic hardship took hold. The financial crisis hit Harlem hard. Jobs disappeared, businesses shuttered, and artists struggled to survive. The vibrancy of the Harlem Renaissance dimmed as the decade wore on. The unquenchable spirit of the Harlem Renaissance, its influence on American culture and the African American experience resonated long after the music faded. The era's legacy continued to shine, its warmth felt for generations. The art, music, and literature left an indelible mark on American culture. Fostering racial pride and unity, it ignited the civil rights movement. The legacy of the Harlem Renaissance is celebrated through music, art, literature, and community initiatives that inspire and empower. From Harlem to museums and universities, the era's contributions are recognized for their enduring impact. Harlem Week draws visitors to experience the energy and creativity that still pulsates through the streets. Festivals, performances, and exhibitions offer a glimpse into the Harlem Renaissance, ensuring its stories continue to be told. Museums and cultural institutions preserve the era's legacy and educate future generations. The spirit of the Harlem Renaissance continues to inspire artists, activists, and individuals from all walks of life. Thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And remember, what would the world be without a song?